Hey, I'm Morgan. Welcome back to my channel where I am documenting my DIY micro lock journey. And today I am dropping those aforementioned postpartum fitness tips. But ultimately, I'm seeking to glorify our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in everything that I do. Thank you for clicking on this video. So I would imagine that you are either pregnant and the scale is increasing rapidly. Maybe you're freshly postpartum. Congratulations, mama. Maybe you had your baby 7 years ago. Life happens. Or maybe you don't have a baby at all. You're not pregnant, but you're looking for some long-lasting weight loss tips. Either way, this video is for you. Yes, so that title is not an exaggeration. It's definitely like a fun Easter egg about me that I like to share when I meet new people and I'm making friends. Yes, I did, by the grace of God, lose 75 pounds postpartum. But caveat, I am now like just over 3 years postpartum, 3 years and a couple months. But the day I gave birth, and trigger warning, everybody is different. We're all different heights, different builds. We carry our weight differently, but I am going to mention some numbers just to give you an idea. But please don't compare yourself. I know that numbers can be triggering, but I just want to give you as much information as possible. When I got pregnant, just before that, I had gone on a little weight loss journey. So just a little testimony moment. My daughter is our rainbow baby. 2020 was a doozy, and I just so happened to also have a miscarriage that year. I think I will make a separate video about that. I have some footage from that time, and I do want to help support those women who may be going through that, because you are absolutely not alone, and it is absolutely not your fault. But different video for a different day, quite a bit heavier in the subject matter there. But all that to say, after the miscarriage, I gained some weight. Like, one thing about me, I'm gonna eat. Like, I am never one of those, oh, I forgot to eat. Like, no. My tendency is to overeat, is to binge. But anyway, after the miscarriage, I had gained some weight, joined the kickboxing gym, and I just vocalized, I said it, which is just something I'm gonna mention later in the video, one of my techniques. But I told myself out loud, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And y'all, I did. I went from 170 pounds, and right when I hit my goal weight of 150 pounds, God sent my baby. So found out I was pregnant, and I was absolutely terrified. I was honestly just waiting to lose her. You know, I was really scared. After that miscarriage, I was fearful that I would have another, right? You just never know. And so that anxiety manifested with overeating, eating. DoorDash Chick-fil-A, DoorDash Chipotle, where I worked in undergrad, DoorDash Domino's, and like Chick-fil-A was like, okay, nuggets, fries, 4 Polynesian sauces, Chick-fil-A sauce, large cookies and cream milkshake, like going crazy. Yeah, and so they say when you're pregnant, you're supposed to gain like 30, 35 pounds. No, ma'am. The day that I gave birth, I weighed in at 225 pounds. Like, for anyone to gain 75 pounds in 9 months. And my baby came early. She came at 36 and 3. So yeah, pretty much exactly 9 months. I'm gonna tell you how you can get back to your pre-pregnancy weight and maybe even better. I, in the course of 12 months, went from that 225, highest weight ever, down to 150 pounds, 12 months postpartum. And now that I'm a little bit over 3 years postpartum, I have basically maintained 150, 155, but I will say I've gained some muscle since then. get into the tips. It is well with my soul. All right, so I'm really excited to be making this video because like, I feel like a lot of things are commonly mentioned and some of those things are on my list, but I also have some more unconventional things and methods that worked really well for me that a lot of people don't think about, and I'm hoping that can help you along your journey and maybe even change the game for you. And I'm gonna go sequentially and I'm gonna drop pictures. Like, I want you to see that I'm not playing, I'm not kidding. And like, I remember when I was pregnant and I was like, oh dang, I'm gaining so much weight. And I was just looking for videos of like, is it possible? Like, how can I look after this? Like, what is in the realm of possibility for me? So I definitely am a visual person. I wanna show you where I was and where I arrived. And then I'm gonna tell you how I did it. So a lot of the weight that you're gonna lose, at least for me, it was water weight, thankfully, and in the baby too. So I gave birth at 225, and those first couple weeks, the weight's just gonna be falling off, which is really a good feeling. Like, whew, such a good feeling. So my baby was 8 pounds and 6 ounces. So that was gone. And then a lot of it was amniotic fluid, like a lot. And so after those first several weeks, like when I realized, like, okay, this is actually the amount of weight I'm gonna have to carve off. I had gone from 225 to like 190. This is me here, a month postpartum, about 4 weeks postpartum. Thank God for the shape. Thank God for my South Carolinian jeans and those aunties. Yeah. They gave me the yams. But it was really just a matter of carving out and chiseling. I just feel like I was a statue and I just wanted to chisel her down a bit. All in all, after the water weight and my baby, I had about 40 pounds to carve off. Give yourself grace there. If you're pregnant and you're like, what's about to happen? You're likely gonna lose like a good bit of weight in that first month. Just like all of the amniotic fluid, the hormone levels returning, the baby being out of there. So, you know, don't worry too much. So sequentially, this picture is me maybe 3 hours after I gave birth. And you can't really see, but I absolutely have a belly band on. I was in the hospital recovering with that belly band on. Banding is such a big thing because it's just helping to pull everything back in, you know, kind of coax that uterus back where she belongs. I just got mine from Target. It was a black Velcro band specifically designed for postpartum women. And as soon as I delivered, was able to get up and everything with the epidural wearing off, I banded and I did not stop. So banding is highly recommended. That's gonna help you to get your shape back. And then after you've, you know, healed, your doctor clears you for exercise and everything else. What I did and what I highly recommend to you is to transition from that Velcro belly band to a hook waist trainer. That's right. Waist training works. You have to be consistent, right? Like if you stop for like a month, you know, you're going to revert. But if you're consistent with that, waist training works. It is uncomfortable in the beginning, but like you literally just grew a human and either pushed it out or had it cut out of your body. So like your idea of discomfort, your perception is gonna be a little different. Like, okay, what's this, you know, hugging my waist? What's that compared to what I just went through, right? With waist training, a couple tips I'm gonna drop right here. Start slow. Start with maybe 4 hours a day. That's it. Work your way up, then 6 hours a day, then 8 hours a day. I don't go beyond 8 hours a day, and I only waist train on the weekdays, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, I just enjoy my results. Waist training is helpful because when you have a baby, your ribs and everything, your rib cage is literally expanded. And so the waist trainer is just pushing it back. They are mobile bones. So just, you know, it helps to push it back and kind of condense and compact everything again. And I will also say it is very, very hard to binge with a waist trainer on. when you're having your meals, it's going to help you to not overeat and to notice more quickly of like, ooh, I'm full. Ooh, I'm approaching that full feeling. Let me go ahead and stop. It's very hard to overeat with that waist trainer. And that's going to help you as well with just your portion sizes and not binging. And that's something you want to avoid if you're trying to lose weight. And I would say what I did is I got a small one and then I got multiple extenders because I was serious about it. I knew this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to waist train. I'm going to get smaller. It's going to happen for me. And so I got the small waist trainer so I wouldn't have to buy a new one. And then the extenders are just like little strips of 3 extra hooks. So you got you have a small waist trainer, but then you have 2 extenders making it bigger. And as you go down a hook, you can slowly lose an extender, lose the other extender, and all the while your waist is getting smaller. Do not sleep on waist training, especially postpartum. Next, in sequential order again, I know this can be a sensitive topic, but if you're able, if possible, breastfeeding is very helpful with postpartum weight loss. Nursing your baby burns up to 600-700 calories a day. Nursing or pumping, they both burn calories. So that is something I'd highly recommend. And I nursed my baby for 15 months. So all that time I was burning a ton of calories, on top of whatever else I incorporated. So that is something that I would highly recommend. It's good for your baby and it's good for you too. You're burning calories, and also when you breastfeed, it literally contracts your uterus. So it's pulling everything back into place. But again, if you're able. If you're not, that's okay. You got all these other tips. Also, I heard that breastfeeding can help to reduce your risk of breast cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're able. So let's talk about exercise. And I will say, oh my goodness, after your doctor clears you, right? I had a friend who opened her C-section wound open twice because she was trying to work out and do too much too soon. Don't do that, because it's gonna have you sitting down longer than if you had just waited until you were cleared and then you can move forward. So just be patient, chill, relax. But for me, despite the 2nd-degree laceration, I was cleared for all activity at 6 weeks postpartum. And so I did begin working out. When it comes to fitness, find something that you love. Find something that you truly enjoy. And I've jumped around a lot. Like in college, in undergrad, I was trying to run. Girl, I do not like to run. And so it never stuck. You have to experiment and you have to explore and find what you actually enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to be consistent. It's going to feel like punishment, whereas it should really feel like a reward, something that you get to do, a privilege. In grad school, I started hot yoga. Very fun. For me, something that I enjoyed. I will sometimes do Grow with Jo at home. Love her. That is so good. I used to do that when I was like freshly postpartum too. If I couldn't make it to my kickboxing class, I would do some Grow with Jo videos at home, and those burn a lot of calories for me. So at-home workouts are perfectly fine. That is something you can absolutely do. People always say weight loss is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's literally just calories in versus calories out. If your calories out are more than your calories in, you will lose weight. You will be in a calorie deficit. So exercise is a great way to increase your chances of a calorie deficit because you're expending more calories. You're increasing those calories out. All of that to say, find something that you love. For me, in my postpartum journey in that first year, it was kickboxing. I was kickboxing for about 45 minutes, and it wasn't like sparring or anything. We just had bags in the room, you had your gloves, and the instructor would tell you like what combo to do. Jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, some kicks. They would have us kind of jog around the ring, the mat, it was not a ring, the room. They would do like some sit-ups, like body weight things. So that class was awesome for me. I was always super sweaty. It was a challenge. And I did that 3 to 4 times a week pretty consistently that first year postpartum. I know going to the gym and having that time away from your baby is really a privilege. And if you're able to do that, please think of it that way. Like, it's me time. You're doing something for yourself. You're pouring into yourself. That's so important. And something my therapist really wanted to make sure I grasped before I even gave birth. You cannot do anything for anybody else if you don't give to yourself first. You come first, mama. But yeah, if you're not able to make it to an actual gym class, and those things cost money as well, so I get it. Try Grow with Joe. Try an at-home workout. There are a ton out there. And Grow with Joe, I love her. She is a mama. She has 2 kids and they were both C-sections. Love her progression and her vulnerability. And she is super snatched. Once you find what you love as far as working out, commit to that. Have some discipline about yourself. And I feel like, something that I did do is I would set a workout goal for myself each week and I held myself accountable. Whether you have an accountability partner, which I feel iffy about, tangent, with accountability partners, you still have to have your own drive to get up and get it. Because 9 times out of 10, that partner's gonna be like, at some point, oh, I can't make it to the gym, or oh, I'm feeling tired, oh, I'm on my period. And it can be so easy for you to be like, okay, I'll take a rest day too. No, you have to keep going. So I feel like sometimes accountability partners can drag you down, so be very careful there. But either way, for me, I would post them. I would just post a little sweaty pic at the end of my workout, and it would say 1 of 4. 4 of 4, and I would, have a little celebration emoji. Whatever works for your schedule, set that goal, stick to it, hold yourself accountable. That's really going to increase your discipline and your confidence. I'm like, dang, I did 4 workouts this week, period. Try it. Another thing that I did when I was earlier postpartum, and especially at the end when I was fighting off those last 7 pounds, I would work out and then I would also go on a walk with my baby. I would pop her in the stroller after work and we would go on a walk. And we'd walk 1 to 2 miles, just walking. And that's also a good time to bond with your baby. You can just chat and kiki with your baby while you're burning calories. You're getting some fresh air. Both of you are getting some fresh air. Okay, onward. So I am going to mention some kind of more intrinsic advice, the internal part. Because yes, you can do all of these things, but it really takes discipline and dedication, and a lot of that starts up here and in here. So what I have next is oh my goodness, patience. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. God literally just grew a human inside of your body. And then you either push it out of your most sensitive, tiniest, or you had it cut out of your body. It's truly a miracle. It's oh my goodness, God planted this baby, this human inside of me. It grew from the size of a seed to a human baby. She was inside of me. She was moving. She was kicking. She was eating. She was sucking her thumb in there with no oxygen. She came out of my body. She had the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. My doctor just pulled it straight off. And here she is, walking and talking and potty trained and running around. And that was none of my doing. It was completely out of my control. It was all in God's hands. Such a miracle. You were the vessel for that miracle. And so please, give yourself grace. That is amazing. You are chosen. So acknowledge that. Be patient. Yes, you want to work on your body. You want to heal. You're wondering what's going to happen. Are my boobs always going to be this big? Are my areolas always going to be 50% of my chest? No. You're going to be fine. Don't stress about it so much. Focus on your baby. Looking back at these pictures, I'm oh my gracious, this is wild. Look what my body went through. But then when I see the pictures of her, I'm in love. It's beyond worth it. Focus on your baby and the rest will follow. Be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, and pray often. You know, we ask God for what we want. And you know, maybe we're not focused on the vanity of it, but it's like, God, I'm praying for the healing of my body, for recovery, for mental health. Because yes, you know, being fit, a lot of people say, oh, that's the vanity of it. But ultimately, depending on who you are, it's the mental health. I don't want to walk around feeling uncomfortable in my body. That's not good for my mental health. That insecure feeling, the fear of judgment, all of those things are not good for your mental health. And your mental health is everything. So don't feel vain for asking God to help heal your body and to give you discipline and patience. Like, that's okay. You can ask God for whatever you need, and it's okay to need that. Getting back to like the more tangible things that you can just like physically do. Drink your water. Especially if you're nursing, if you're breastfeeding, you're probably drinking your water anyway, because breast milk is water. So water is great for breast milk, but it's also great for weight loss. I'm sure you've heard this, but a lot of times we eat because we think we're hungry, but really we're thirsty. Drink your water, it's gonna help you. All right, on the note of consumption, let's address the elephant in the room. I had to start calorie counting, and you might too. Like I said, for me, my tendency is to overeat, never undereat. Can't relate, I don't know her. Overeating is very easy for me. I can gain 5 pounds like that. I had to start counting calories. And I didn't do it initially because you have to be very careful again if you're breastfeeding. Because if you with breastfeeding, you're burning those calories. You need to eat a bit more to keep your milk supply up. So it was a little bit tricky to balance breastfeeding and losing weight at the same time. A little bit tricky. I didn't incorporate calorie counting until we were maybe 6 months postpartum, I would say. So that first half of the year, I was working on like getting into a consistent workout schedule, drinking my water, praying, banding, waist training. I was focused on those things that first half of the year. But then I hit 6 months and I was just like, okay, we're plateauing. Like I said earlier, after that first month, I was about 190. And then 6 months later, I was like 175. And so I still had like 25 pounds to go. I got me a little app and I started counting calories. In hindsight, I could just use MyFitnessPal. I highly recommend that. It's free. There's a ton of data in there. Like any food you pop in is pretty much in there. Or you can type in your own food. Like it's intuitive and it's free. It's free. But I did use an app and I cannot think of the name, so insert here. And it was kind of like trying to get down to the psychological part of losing weight, which is why it interested me. I'm like, okay, maybe I can learn something. And I will say a big thing that helped me was an exercise they had us do in the beginning. And it's something that I think you should do. Establish your why. Write down why you want to lose weight and then go a level deeper. Write that down and then go a level deeper. Like go down to the root of why you want to lose weight. Like, I want to lose weight so I look better in my clothes. Why do you want to look better in your clothes? Because I feel uncomfortable in my body. Why do you want to change that? And my why for me, I want to be the healthiest version of myself for my daughter. Of course, healthiest physically, but again, also mentally. If it's in my control, something that I can do to show up and be mentally healthy and mentally happy, I was gonna do that. And for me, it was losing that postpartum weight, that pregnancy weight. So establish your why. It could be whatever you want. It could be for your inner child, right? Maybe you grew up overweight, chubby, people made fun of you, your parents, your family prodded and teased you. Maybe it's for that inner child in there. I want to do that for this inner child. I want to heal her, Establish your why. It's going to drive you on those days when your motivation is low. It's going to help crank up that discipline when you have that core why. All right, let's keep rolling. Oh yeah, so I went on a tangent about the app. back to the calorie counting. I cannot remember what deficit I was in at the time. I think I was aiming for maybe like 1,800 calories is what I want to say at that time. And for me, at 175, breastfeeding, that was a calorie deficit for me. And depending on how you work your day, what you work in, focusing on maybe a protein goal and not so much a calorie goal is a good method. Whatever works for you. I feel like it's not as commonly discussed, but they do help. The only thing is, again, with the breastfeeding. If you're breastfeeding, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait until you're weaned. I highly recommend vitamins. I am a huge fan of the Alani Nu vitamins. I was using the balanced vitamins before I got pregnant. It helps to like increase fertility is what the bottle says. So be careful if you're not trying to have Irish twins, 2 under 2. But weight loss management, skin clearance, complexion, something like that. It has a lot of benefits. It's a nice like women's vitamin that you can take, but you have to wait until you're not nursing. You're not pregnant, you're not nursing. Recently, I began taking the Alani Nu fat burner. It just helps to suppress my appetite and honestly to like silence the food noise. As a person who can easily overeat, I have food noise. I'm always like, what am I eating for dinner? What am I have for a snack? I could go for this. Like always thinking about food. And somehow that vitamin helps you to kind of silence that. So I highly recommend that. And then, you know, after you're not pregnant anymore, you've stopped breastfeeding, like you should be taking other vitamins too, right? Vitamin D. I take collagen now that I'm inching up on 30. So take your vitamins. There's vitamins for all types of stuff. But I do recommend the Alani Nu Balance and the Alani Nu Fat Burner, specifically for weight management. Okay, and so another unconventional tip that I highly, highly recommend is if you are actively trying to lose weight, you need to be I don't want to say always thinking about it, but it needs to be on your mind. Like on your feed, maybe, you know, watch some videos of other moms who have lost weight. Don't look at the 19-year-old who don't look at the BBL. Look at other moms who maybe have a similar body type to you or similar story. Like, you know, keep your mind focused on weight loss, and maybe even specifically postpartum weight loss, because it is so unique and it is like such targeted areas. Keep your mind focused on weight loss. And an easy way that I did that I really enjoyed is I would, you know, whenever I watch TV or YouTube videos, really for me, I was really focusing and kind of gearing more towards weight loss videos. Videos like this, weight loss tips, seeing the pictures, the progression of like, ooh, okay, this is possible for me. A show that I love and I highly recommend on YouTube, it's free, Fit to Fat to Fit. And so it's a show where these people who are overweight hire a personal trainer, and that personal trainer is fit, and they gain as much weight as they can in like a specific allotted time period. I think it's maybe a couple months. And so like they lose their abs, they have a pudge, they have double chin, like they gain weight, and then they work together with the person who's overweight to get fit together. So it's fit to fat to fit. And I love that show because it shows like the real of it. Like, okay, this person is overweight, and by the end of the show, of course, they have their abs back. Sometimes they're even stronger than before. So it's nice to see like, okay, this is possible. They're giving you tips all along the way of what they're doing. But ultimately, I really like the quotes I've gotten from it. Like these quotes drive me even to this day. One that I love, that I tell myself, like if I'm working out and it's hard, it's heavy, you cannot create change without challenge, period. If it's easy, you're not doing anything. Like, and when it's hard, when it's challenging, just know that you are changing, you're chiseling, you're carving her out. Another one, very simple. Every workout counts. Without her, I cannot be her. Every single workout is a step in the right direction. It's a step in your weight loss fitness journey. Every workout counts. I'm gonna hit you with one more quote that I love, and is so real. Feeling uncomfortable in your body is hard. Losing weight is hard. Choose your hard. They're both hard. Feeling uncomfortable and feeling like you have to cover up and you don't want to see a camera coming and just unhappy in your body is so hard. That's so hard. Mentally and even physically. Maybe it's hurting your back, your knees. Like, it's hard. Losing weight is hard. Being disciplined, focusing on, going to the gym, not eating ice cream every night. Some nights, but not every night. That's hard. Which hard are you gonna choose? And for me, feeling uncomfortable in my body is way harder and it's way more damaging for me. And I would assume for you too. Choose your hard. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. The final thing I want to leave you with is just do what you can manage. Obviously, and I just told you, I was not doing all of these things all at the same time. No. Incorporate what you can, work your way up, build, switch things up when you need to. Do what you can manage, but do something. Keep trying, keep pushing, believe in yourself. She's in there. That elevated version of yourself, that version that you envision, she's already there. It's you. You just have to chisel. You just have to carve her out. And you're going to be so, so grateful to yourself. Do it for you. But hey, God is good. He will see you through it. Trust in Him. Believe in yourself. I would love to chit chat in the comments. Are you pregnant? Are you postpartum? You don't have a baby? I want to hear more about you. I feel like I just told a lot about myself. Vulnerability. But I so appreciate you joining this journey, this channel. I have so much that I want to give because I feel like so much has been given to me. And so I just wanted to add my little 2 cents in the pot and share and hopefully help someone, even if it's just one person. But ultimately, you got this. Reach out if you have any questions. I would be happy to jump in. Or if you want to see maybe like what I do now in the gym, my lifting routine, that journey of losing the postpartum weight, getting lean, then to bulking up and getting some guns on me, let me know. Thank you for being here. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Hey.